the great reshuffle.
The pandemic really accelerated some trends that we were seeing prior to the pandemic.
We had 9 offers.
This has been the busiest market that I've seen in 34 years.
It was around $65,000 more than asking price.
We've seen tens of thousands, even $100,000 above list price.
We'll buy this house. We will buy the seller's next house. So they bid in the mid 700s on the home, and they offered to buy the seller's next home.
So we've got millennials competing with baby boomers, and they're looking at very similar types of homes, smaller, more affordable starter homes.
I think that your guys' offer is really, really good, very strong. Now we just cross our fingers and wait until tomorrow night.
Cool.
Alrighty.
Well, let me know if you guys need anything at all, and otherwise I'll just keep you updated.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you so much.
You're welcome. Have a good night.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi, Marek. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. I wanted to let you know that I just emailed you guys over some comps.
You should have seen Kothney-Issa's face when you called.
Over some. Oh, I know. Unfortunately, I still haven't heard anything. She did reply, and she let me know that she did receive the offers.
With the expiration being tomorrow at noon, like say we don't hear anything by 11, what does that look like?
That just means they're definitely not going with ours?
Oh, no. Listing agents are usually really good about letting people know immediately.
What are your, what is your gut feeling?
We like to speculate if you can't tell.
I mean, honestly, it was such a strong offer. We were very aggressive with the things that we offered.
Gotcha.
That offer cover sheet that we did is huge. Agents don't do that. They just send all those documents that you signed over, and then the agent literally has to go line by line and put all that stuff in, and we lay it out for them. Like, you don't need to go through the contract. Here it is.
Gotcha.
As soon as I hear something, I'll let you know. Is there a time that you would not, like maybe just an email instead of a text or a call?
Nope.
No, yeah, you can call whenever.
Yep, we'll be up.
That's early for us with this newborn.
Awesome. Well, hopefully I hear something soon then.
Okay, all right, thank you. What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Marek, and I'm here with my lovely, beautiful, home-owning wife.
Kothney-Issa.
And you're watching what will probably be the last video in our tiny house. Now, let me keep it real. We probably got a good at least 4 or 5 other videos. But from what I just said, the title, the thumbnail, I think it's pretty obvious what this video is all about. We're still going to let those clips roll just for good measure. But we want to get into specifically how we got our offer accepted in this insane 2021 housing market. And we want to talk about how offering over the asking price, significantly over the asking price, actually was, by the numbers, a better financial deal for us. I'm going to actually do a full-on breakdown side by side of 2 different scenarios and show by the numbers why this actually made a ton of sense. And if you're buying in the market right now, how you might have a lot more leverage than you probably even realize. This is the part where people lose their minds. We actually offered $25,000 over the asking price. Before you click off the video and before you leave a nasty comment, let me actually explain to you why. And this is what makes it all work. Everything really is tied into this. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
Doing good.
Okay, so I wanted to call you. I just talked to the listing agent. They want to accept your offer. I guess there were 2 or 3 other offers. She said there was actually an offer that was higher than yours, and they selected the box 3 that said they waive inspections. And she's like, and that is a huge plus, you know. And I'm like, I wanted to be like, why are you not accepting that offer? Of course I didn't.
Wow.
She said there was actually an offer that was higher than yours, and they selected the box 3 that said they waive inspection.
And the other one did the non-refundable. The other offers did the non-refundable deposit.
She didn't say that. The other one that was waiving inspections was putting less down. So
Okay.
that's why she would rather accept your offer.
Okay. All right.
Awesome, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Okay, I'll be in touch soon.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Now I'm sure y'all are wondering why we've been dragging this so much with, you know, the cliffhangers and the teasers and all that. But we just wanted to make sure that our deal closed. So we have been, though, if you've been paying attention, dropping hints. And if you actually follow us on Instagram, you'll notice that we actually changed our names from the Tiny House Lifestyle to the Bush Family. And then also, if you were watching, paying close attention to the video last week, we actually only showed the outside of 2 homes. And that third one we didn't. But don't go back and look, because we want to be able to show y'all a proper tour for the home that we bought.
Now, as an early warning, this is going to be a very detailed video walking through each of the 12 things we did to get our offer accepted. And I know there's going to be a lot of people that are like, there's no way I would do all of that. Like, I'll just wait. That's fine. This is really geared more so towards other people that are actively in the market, maybe feeling discouraged, feeling like they'll never get an offer accepted, or whatever the case may be, to kind of show what we did, and maybe it'll help somebody else out there.
I guess we're really just gonna toy around with that. Like I was just thinking about that. I need to kind of break down all the numbers depending on how this all plays out. We got essentially about 1,000 to work with without going into any investment accounts, which I really don't want to do. Anything that's on the back end with the closing costs is going to be covered by the grant. It's the front end is really, I guess, well, we have to budget out the grant for.
Right. Now, the first thing that we did that we feel like helped our offer get accepted was the urgency that we moved with. So we were able to get inside of our home to tour it. The first 12 hours it was on the market. And the first 18 hours it was on the market, we had put in an offer on it. Okay.
Man, that's crazy because it just went up today.
Well, it's so beautiful. You would expect that.
So people are seeing it today and putting in offers today, just like us.
Yep.
Yep, that you have to in this market, and that's why I said, I wanted to be one of the first.
And that offer got accepted. So we actually were able to get our hands on some pre-MLS listings from our real estate agent, and we kind of just looked at the bare bones of it because, the things didn't have like the updated pictures on them. And so we drove by and kind of saw the yards and things like that, and we made decisions of which ones to be looking out for. That way, as soon as they hit the market, we were moving on them. So we were up at ungodly hours waiting on listings to drop because they actually were dropping in the middle of the night, so that we could be first to look at them and then text our real estate agent to make sure that we were seeing those homes that next day, few hours later.
So the second thing we did was we had a really solid down payment. We didn't really know exactly how it stacked up against the competition, but we actually came to find out it was one of the biggest things that came off as attractive to the sellers.
But she liked the fact that you guys were putting % down, and the other one that was waiving inspections was putting less down. So that's why she would rather accept your offer.
Now, the third thing we did, and I'm talking about the second time around, was to make sure we had a pre-approval letter before going to look at houses. So that way we were able to have a 30-day closing period instead of 45 to 60 days if we wouldn't have had the pre-approval letter.
So we had to learn this. We basically went completely out of order with the first time. We were like, okay, we want to buy a house. And the very first thing we did was go to open houses, which everybody knows is completely out of whack.
Yeah.
And we were like, well, yeah, let's just go out this weekend and let's just go and get a feel for like what's on the market. And we didn't have a realtor. We didn't have a pre-approval letter. And we ended up out here in this open house, and it was the one we fell in love with, the one I was talking about and we showed all those pictures of. And so we put in an offer on our own. And it got rejected.
Yeah.
The fourth thing we did was we came in with a conventional loan, which is obviously not as good as a cash offer, but we hear that it's better than the VA or the FHA loan.
Now the fifth thing we did was make sure to have our earnest money deposit, our 1%, but we also went ahead and put an extra $500 on there of non-refundable funds that went directly to the sellers.
You said the earnest money deposit would be $2,100?
$2,150 is 1%.
And we're making 500 of that non-refundable, or we're adding another 500 onto that?
500 of that.
Another 500.
Oh.
On top of the 2,150?
Yes.
Okay.
And the reason that's a big incentive for the sellers is because really no matter what happens, they keep that 500. So we're basically just telling them, hey, if you take our offer, you're guaranteed no matter what to walk away with at least $500. But in the event that it actually goes through, that $500 does still go towards our purchase price. So in reality, all we're really saying is, hey, we're serious about this and we're not gonna back out. The sixth thing we did is we set a budget and we stuck to that specific budget. For the most part.
She's over there looking, trying to
Look,
go
this
up
is
right now.
No, this is below the what I told you was in my mind. Remember I told you 250? This is 240. Babe, it's brand new construction, and this is nice. It ain't wood, all hardwood floors, but
We're capped out. We said 225 at the top.
So the banks were actually asking us what we wanted in terms of money for the house. Before we ever talked to any bank at all, we set our budget at $225,000. And so we told the banks, don't even offer us anything, write it for $225,000. We don't want a penny more. And then after we got that amount, we actually shopped for homes in the $180,000 to $190,000 or maybe even the low $200,000s. We shopped for homes in that price range so that once we found something that we liked, that was clean and quality and updated and renovated, we could actually go in with more above asking, knowing that our ceiling was the $225,000.
Now the seventh thing we did was use an escalatory clause. And so we decided that we were going to pay $1,000 over the highest price up to $225,000, which was our ceiling.
And also the escalatory might have been the difference maker too.
Who knows, but
we did not waive our inspections, which a lot of people are doing. We actually kind of went in the middle. If you've never bought a home before, there's basically 3 boxes. Box 1, if there's problems found in the inspection, the seller would fix them. Box 2 is saying, hey, we have the right to cancel if we find problems, but we're not going to ask you to fix anything. And then box 3 is insane in my opinion. And people just waive their right to inspections altogether and really have no idea what they're getting.
Now for the parts of the offer that we know were the strongest.
The house was originally listed at $190,000.
So we actually offered $5,000 over the appraisal price if it came in lower than our offer price.
Some people think that's crazy, but in this market, it's necessary. And the big thing, this is the part where people lose their minds. We actually offered $25,000 over the asking price. Before you click off the video and before you leave a nasty comment, let me actually explain to you why. And this is what makes it all work. Everything really is tied into this. And it was the fact that we found a lender that ultimately is willing and is giving us $7,500. It's not a loan, complete grant, $7,500 towards our closing costs. And say the closing costs are low, say the closing costs are only like $2,500, they'll take that remaining $5,000 and buy our interest rate down. If you're brand new to the home buying process, what that basically means is you can pay an upfront amount in order to basically buy points, and that makes a permanent long-term reduction in your interest rate. So with interest rates already being at record lows, us actually getting our interest rate bought down even further brought us all the way down to a 2.375, which is unheard of. And that is what makes offering $25,000 over still a smart decision in our specific case. When your interest rate is permanently bought down, you could be talking about over $100,000 in total interest saved. You actually have a margin that allows you to be more competitive up front with your offers and still save and pay less pay less in total principal and interest over the life of the loan than, say, waiting for it to be more of a buyer's market when interest rates are actually higher. Let me do a breakdown example to make sense of all of this. All right, so situation A, we're gonna call this pre-COVID, right? And then situation B, we're gonna call this a seller's market, kind of like what we're in right now. We're not gonna use our actual real numbers. I'm just gonna use some fake numbers, but the principles and the concepts all still pretty much work the same. For situation A, we'll say the price of the house, the asking price of the house is $325,000. And let's say the buyer comes in because it's a buyer's market and there's not a lot of competition. They come in and offer right at list price, $325,000, right? On the other hand, let's say situation B, same house, same price, but now we're in a seller's market. Say the person comes in and offers $375,000, $50,000 over the asking price. We're gonna do a 5% down payment on both of them, right? So for situation A, that would actually make the loan amount $308,750 because you're taking that $16,250 and you're subtracting that from the $325. And then in situation B, it will make the loan amount $356,250 because you're subtracting the 5% down payment from the offer price of $375,000. So in situation A, 308, in situation B, 356. Now that's where a lot of people will stop. They'll literally stop right there and they'll say, oh, that guy's stupid. He's paying $356,000 for a house that's only worth $308,000. Or, oh, people are offering way over asking. I'm priced out of the market. I can't compete. I can't get a house right now. Don't stop right there. Because when you stop at that point right there and you don't fully amortize it out, you're essentially taking out two of the most important components of a mortgage loan: time, interest. So let's go further. So now we're going to take that loan amount of $308,750 from situation A, and we're going to punch it in to this amortization calculator at, let's call a normal interest rate, right? Pre-COVID, like just regular normal times interest rate. Let's call it 4.5%. So $308,750 at a 4.5% interest rate over 30 years, you can see that your principal is still the same $308,750. Your interest is $254,000 for a total house cost of $563,180.
$500,000.
Let's break down the other. I think you probably know where I'm going with this. Let's break down the other one. So situation B, your loan amount was $356,250, and we're going in with an interest rate of 2.375%, which, remember, in our situation, that's literally our interest rate. Like right now, we're closing on a home at that rate because of the buy down, right? Mm-hmm. Ultra low interest rates in general, and then buying it down additionally. We got that. We are getting that rate. So it is very realistic. So at 2.375% over 30 years, you come out with the same $356 in principal. The interest is only $142,000, and the total house cost is $498,447. That's $64,773 less than the guy that came in at offer price. That's a win. That's money that you have to play with, essentially, in the actual bidding process. You offered $50,000 more for the house up front, but you're going to pay $64,000 less for the house over the length of the loan. So I'm not going to do a full breakdown of our numbers, but if you were to take all those numbers back off the table out of that example and just plug in our personal situation that we've been talking about this entire video, what you would come up with is the original home list price was at $190. For situation A, the normal guy, they're going to pay $329,244 for the $190,000 house in the long run. Whereas on our end, we'll pay $285,776. That's a savings of somewhere around $45,000. You got to look at the full picture. If you can get an ultra low interest rate, you have more bargaining power, you have more funds available to you to be competitive in today's market than you might think. Now, I guarantee you, all that said, there's going to be still some people in the comments down below right here that would stop, right? Before they break it all the way down, they would stop and they're going to say, oh, you guys are dumb. You paid it. Watch. You go down in the comments and watch. You're going to see somebody say something along that lines, and they never made it to this point in the video, but that's the way to do it in today's market, right? If you're not shopping in today's market, I really don't expect you to understand. If you aren't looking to be competitive out there, I really don't expect you to understand. But for those that are, this can work. It literally is working for us. And we don't even plan to take the loan out for the full 30. The sooner you get it paid off, you pay even less. I know I went on a rant, but a lot of people are struggling right now to find homes and they're feeling like they can't compete in this market. So I want to put that out there. The only caveat to everything that we're talking about, the appraisal is extremely important. You can go up and above the asking price, but it still has to be in a reasonable range that it would appraise for that amount. Because if it doesn't appraise for that amount, you go back into a renegotiation period with the seller, or you're forced to come out of pocket the difference. So if you don't have that cash on hand to come out of pocket and your appraisal comes in low, you need to have a plan around what happens with the appraisal. In our situation, we went in high. The appraisal actually came back at our offer price. So everything goes straight through just as I've described it here. But now that we got the numbers out of the way, we're super happy that we bought this home. It's not all about the numbers, but we got to grab our daughter.
I'm like, you really gonna keep going? Little mama's sleepy. I do want to encourage whoever is out there shopping around, do your due diligence. We actually have a 45-day window. Once that first credit hit is on your record, your points are no longer going to drop. So we actually shopped a mortgage broker, we shopped credit union, we shopped the big banks. We made sure to make our rounds to make sure we were getting the best deal that we could find.
Some of you guys probably already know which bank we're talking about because of the loan, and it's pretty popular. The numbers are real. The financial side of the deal is amazing. But to be fully transparent, the logistical side has been a nightmare. It was a hassle, and we did have some headaches, and we did have to send some emails, but I think we would still do it again.